been, man, first, I mean, because I wasn't really, walking around like that. And number two, it's like,
that's unheard of.
Right, yeah. I did, man, my whole 20s was spent inside of the joint, too, so I didn't really have that time. So if I would have got my temps, it would have been from 13 to 19, and I really didn't get into that at that time, And I was driving ever since I was 16 years old. So as soon as I turned 16, I had me a car. So I was rolling since I was 16 years old. So it's like, so I wasn't really, I wasn't the Tim guy, man.
You notice whenever you got nice shoes and you drive, your shoes last way
right.
Like when I started driving and I was going to high school, man, my shoes would last me the whole year. And people were like, man, how your shoes?
No doubt, man.
I'm driving. And then even before I was 16, my mom would let me drive her car to school because she know I ain't no bad kid.
Right.
She said, as long as I go to school and play basketball, she let me drive it. Because my mom, she worked downtown Cleveland. So what she used to do is park her truck at the rapid station and get on the rapid. So one day I brought it to her attention. I was like, Mom, it ain't no point in you going to work. I could just take you to the rapid station and drive your car. She like, boy, if I give my car and I'm fooling around, you better go to school. She gave me them keys one day. I'm in the 9th grade. I said, oh, it's going. I'm a 9th grader driving to school.
Yeah,
I was talking to the seniors, all that type of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Independence, man. Ain't nothing like driving. It's independence, man. So yeah, brothers, but yeah, that's heavy duty, man. But but the guy, he come up to me in the store and he had a chain in his hand. He's like, "You want this, man? I got this for sale." It's like, brother, first of all, I'm not buying nothing out of somebody's hand like that, man. Like, I don't even know. Like, the chain looked like it had Corona. I'm like, man, I'm not about to sit up here and buy no chain. That puppy look like it got Corona. Like, first of all, I'm not about that puppy. I don't trust it, man. So like, I don't. Right. I just don't want to. If I can't get it, then I don't want it. Does that make sense? That means that if it's something that I can't buy, like, I'm not about to go ahead and get, like, dudes come up to me in the spot or in a sports bar or something like that, and they'll have a whole thing of glasses. It's like, man, these is Cartier. It's like, man, I don't want no Cartier if it ain't what it is, then I don't want it. Like, if I cannot afford Cartier, guess what I'm not gonna be wearing? Cartier. I'm not gonna wear a fake, I'm not gonna wear something that's not what it is, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get something that I can't afford. So then I'll go ahead and get,
some Ray-Bans.
Some Ray-Bans, absolutely right. So I'm gonna go ahead and spend my money on some Ray-Bans. If that's the case, whatever it is, I'm gonna make sure that I fit that particular space, man. I'm not going to be looking like I fit here and I don't, right? You know what I'm saying?
Fake ones.
That's what you're doing. You literally, that's what you are doing. You saying that, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and buy that so I can look like I belong there, but really you are here financially. If you're not there financially, then brother, don't act like it, because the truth is going to be revealed. This is what I know, right? So it's like, why fake the funk, right? Just be who you are. Right? Why do we always try to become something that we are not instead of just embracing who the heck we are, embracing where we at? I hear so many people, they be trying to be, man, more than who they are and be different than where they are at. Brother, this is where you at. This is who you are. This is your position. Embrace that stuff so you can get to the next position, so you can get to the next level. Like, if this is your level, it doesn't mean that it got to stay your level. Right? But it will stay your level if you don't embrace it. Does that make sense? Like, if you don't embrace where you at, then that's going to probably be you until you embrace it. Because you can't do the work that's necessary to be able to level up. Because in your mind, it's like, I'm not there. So you're not pulling from where you are at what you need to pull from where you are at. You see what I'm saying? All of this stuff, brothers, is mental. Everything is mind work. It's mind work. That's what gets us to our next level, is our minds. How do we look at it? You see what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie, because I do want some diamond teeth.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so even with like watches and stuff, I see people with these watches and they be like, man, all of this glitter on it. It's like, man, that stuff glittered in the mug. I know dang on well that ain't no real diamonds, man. If it was real diamonds, it would be like $100,000, $200,000 watch, right? All of the glitter. That's why I don't even want stuff to be.
That ain't true.
I'm telling you, I'm dead serious, brother. Like, if it was real diamonds, like, I'm dead serious, real diamonds, Like,
Can I say something?
dead serious. Don't get tricked,
My
man.
cousin Stacy, he got a Cartier watch, bust down, paid 40 bands for it. It ain't that much.
Yeah.
They go off the clarity of the diamonds.
Right. So but 40,000 though. 40,000 for a watch.
That's a house.
Right. Like, so I understand that, but I'm talking about when you starting to say, man, like these watches that be looking like that. I wasn't talking about the 40,000. I'm talking about the stuff that be like for $600, like $300, like $299, and you got all of this glitter and the stuff look good in the mug. It's in the corner store somewhere in the case. You know, I ain't talking about 40,000. Like 40 racks is 40 racks. You could buy something off of somebody who bought it for 100,000 and they in a depressed time and they say just give me 40,000. But you know it's quality, right? Because you paying 40,000, right? Like, so I'm not talking about that, G.
I was about to
Heck, nah. I'm talking.
You talking about the ones that be in the little mall and you be like,
right, and
okay.
them puppies look like them puppies shining, right? And you'll see people out there with them, they be like, yeah, look at this, yeah.
And they try to floss it. They like this, they all
it's like, brother, like,
I ain't doing nothing.
like I ain't doing nothing. I'm just,
I see you with the G-Shock on.
Right, like, so people be, people, like, so that's why I be like, man, you know.
I always sit there and take, like, if it's a watch like that or rings or anything like that, I take it straight to jewelry strip. Hey, I take them with me that they're trying to sell it to you dirt cheap. Like, hey, but tell me if this is real.
Right, no doubt. And more times than not, man, you know.
Sometimes them people, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm out.
You know, I still do got I got a Rolex that I bought, you know, from back in the days, man. I still got it, man. Acewood sold me a Rolex back in the days, man. Acewood, he sold me a Rolex, man.
It's real? You was selling?
Man, I still got it. No, it's just a regular Rolex, man. You know. But I still got it. I still had it through the joint. That's one thing that I still had even through my joint. Man, because it's just like, it's small. The stuff is just like, you know, it's just not.
That's a Rolex. I remember my dad had a Rolex ring and a matching watch.
It was lifted though, right? Yeah, it was lifted. This brother, he got it from something. He got it. This brother.
Josh Artist, you gave me that motherfucker.
I ain't know where you ain't got it.
Josh Artist, your dad. Remember, he ain't never beat his dad or nothing, man. He ain't had that.
I still got that puppy too, man. That puppy has traveled with me, man. Like, that's crazy. Even throughout the 10 years in prison and everything.
You know how much that thing probably
like, my
worth?
father still had it, man. He still had that same old Rolex, man.
It's probably worth some money now.
It could be, man, but I still got it, man.
It was definitely nice.
Yeah, I still got that puppy though, man. But I got it for the low. But it was different circumstances. You know, yeah, it wasn't like Ace Wood bought the stuff like for some. It was different
Is this the
circumstances.
only thing that you do, as far as on the speaking side?
This is what I do for a living, brother. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I
no
was
doubt.
wondering if you had taught a class how to present yourself in front of people.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with that sometimes, you know, and it ain't too many people that can get me up on that level to prepare myself to
Right.
come up with a good delivery. Because I've been, like I said, I caught you over there in Mansfield and always been fascinated on how you got your message across.
Right.
Excuse me.
Well, and one of the things that it's going to take is just you doing it, right? It's just you doing it, consistency, right? When I first started speaking, man, it was like, sheesh, like, dang, you know, like you get nervous and stuff like that. You know, this is a part of it, you know, but then after you get used to it, you know how to respond to the nerves and you be able to deliver your message. Now it's like, because I do it so much, man, you know.
I know that was like middle school, man.
Right.
Just getting into high school, we was like freshmen or some shit.
Like on what he just asked, I don't know if where it's at, because I know they got it in the community too, but I think that they help structure stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they had it when you.
So Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
So Toastmasters. So you want to get into like a Toastmasters? Like, so then, and they got it in the community too. So you just Google Toastmasters and they meet up. And Toastmasters' main thing is to teach you how to present.
A lot of people that actually go through that, they make money doing it. Because people sit there, because there was a couple people, they sat there, went through it, and they went out to community, started talking and stuff.
Right.
People literally started paying them to like, hey, I need you to come speak, come be my spokesperson, come do this for me. And like this one dude, he said, just for 15 minutes of speaking, he's like, man, I went and racked up 60,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's no joke because people fear public speaking worse than they do death. Like literally, like public speaking is feared more than death. Right? So when you can do something like that, guess what it will do? I mean, that's value. You know, everything, all of this stuff is about is just increasing the value in people's mind. When people say, Los, man, how you going to turn the penitentiary on his head? How you going to stand the community on his feet? All of it's about the value. So what I say is that, man, hey, the way that we are going to turn the penitentiary on his head and stand the community on his feet is by increasing the value in the minds of the people who are incarcerated, right? Like increasing the value, meaning that when you start to value, like you start to look at yourself being more than just this situation right here, when you start to look at yourself and say, you know what, this don't fit me, man. This ain't for me, man. This is conflicting against my spirit, man. This stuff is unacceptable. When people start to take that approach, that's when you'll start to get to a whole nother level. But the moment that you still saying like, man, you know what? Hey, I can do another 5. I can do another day. I can do 60 days. That's what I was talking about, jumping the fence. When somebody jumps the fence in the halfway house, what they are saying is that I can go back to the penitentiary for a hot second. You know, like you are literally accepting these conditions, man. And when you accept these conditions, brothers, they will continue to be your conditions. And the only way that you can accept these conditions, brother, is if you don't think like yourself to be of value, right? That's the only way you can accept these conditions. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I'm not accepting no more prison.
That's what I'm saying. Like to get to a place to where you like, man, and you got to start, man, not accepting these conditions now. You can't wait until you get released from prison to not accept these conditions.
I did a total of 13 years.
Damn.
See, and that's what I'm saying. How many times you been locked up, G?
Once.
This is your first time?
I did 10 months in 2018.
Oh, okay, cool. So this is, I mean, but it has to stop. Right? It has to be like, man, I do not accept these conditions, man, because this stuff don't get better. This stuff only gets worse. Like it gets worse. So it's almost saying, okay, I'm gonna go home and then you're gonna continue to do the things, and when you come back in here, you thinking it's gonna be better. It's not. It's worse. They doing worse things than they were doing 5 years ago. Right now, today, because this is designed to get worse.
Yeah, them
right?
investments, when I went, all the times I invested in prison, stupid as hell.
I'm telling you, man. So then that's where we gotta be at. So then that's what we was talking about in the hallway. It's just having that mind to say, man, you know what? I'm gonna develop a mind that contradicts this place because this place is not for me. And coming to that conclusion, that means that when people are trying to get you to be somebody that fits here, you like, man, I'm not about to be that person that fits here. That's why I say it was so important to like get up, like, you know, you wake up, like you do the small things that contradicts this environment, this culture right now, and you practice that stuff, right? Make your bed. These are small things that you can do right now that will separate you from people inside of here. How do you separate? You don't separate from people inside of here because of your facial features or your body structure. The way that you separate from people in this is your mind. How are you thinking? Our thinking is the only thing that's going to separate us in life. It's going to give us a different experience in life. The reason why people are experiencing what they are experiencing is because of their thinking. The reason why people can't get over prison is because they have told themselves that they can't get over prison. They have told themselves that this is me, this is just who I am. They made that decision from information 15, 20, 30 years ago, and they still at that same place right now.
That's why, like, when I was, like, in there, that's one thing I started sitting there evaluating, especially in my life, is because the people around you, like, if you're around a bunch of closed-minded people.
Absolutely.
That are only focused on one thing or certain values or whatever, that's when I got to that point, I was like, okay, I can't be around these people. I had to start surrounding myself by people that were open-minded, like, because when you're around people that's open-minded and they're acceptable to things and stuff like that, there's chances to build, and
No doubt.
opens up more doors, and
No
it
doubt.
opens up more things in your mind to look at things in a different perspective and stuff like that.
You get different conversation, right? Different conversation produces a different mind. So Ace, when he hits me up and he says, "Los, man, I need to get my credit," right? So because he's tied to me, I'm able to give him information that's going to get him on the right path, right? Because I've established my credit. I've been able to do that. So what do I say? I say, man, what needs to be done right now? Now, it's another way that you can go about it, but I'm going to tell you the way that's going to be the most effective through my experience. So I say, man, bro, get a job first. Period. Don't think about the credit card right now. Get job first, right? It's a reason why I'm saying that, right? I'm not saying it just because I got lips on my face. I'm saying it with purpose. I understand what needs to be done. You get a job, then you'll be able to pay your credit card so your credit card don't become an option and you spending money that you don't got. This is why people get bad credit, because they spend more than what they got. They'll say, man, I got free money. And they'll go into that store and they'll go ahead and buy that $500 TV set and they only got $300 in their pocket. And that's a problem, because when it's time to pay that $500, they ain't got it. So what are they going to do? They're going to pay that minimum payment. And when you pay that minimum payment, guess what you are getting tacked on? Interest, APR, and that interest going to be high in the mug too, because you don't have the ability to be able to pay your statement balance. So that's why I say you want to make sure that whatever's on your credit card, you got the money to be able to pay off your credit card. You don't want to be sitting up here trying to pay off your credit card with, man, hey, can I borrow some money? Like borrow from other people to pay off your credit card. So then that's why I give my brothers the process of what needs to be done to be able to get to that destination, because I've done it. You see what I'm saying? So the same thing applies with children, like with your child. What I'm going to tell you, bruh, as soon as your child is born, you want to be able to establish yourself in the course with your child, right? You don't want to wait until something happens to try to establish yourself. You've never had children, it would be good for you to say, let me go ahead and establish myself in the course. And I would also encourage you to go ahead and get, DNA testing, right? And the reason, and I know that people say, like, man, you know what, man, no, it's going to offend the mom. But I would just package it in a way to where you say, man, you know what, this is how I legally establish myself with my child. Because if the mom 100% knows that she's the mother, why does she 100% knows that she's the mother? Why does the mom know that she's 100% the mother, brothers?
She's carrying the baby.
Because she's carrying the baby. So how can you have that same type of confidence that you 100% the father?
You don't. Unless you get that DNA done.
That blood work, right? That DNA test, right? Or else you're going to be just taking somebody's word. The mom don't got to take nobody's word. That's why it should be embraced for, fathers who say, man, let me get the test for our child. I'm not saying that you cheating or none of that, but I just want to start this parenting piece off on level grounds. That means that I want to start it off with us both having the same confirmation on this child, right? So nobody can dispute it. It protects you, it protects her, it protects the child. You don't want somebody 15, 20 years from now saying, you know what, gee, I'm really your father. All right, that's crazy. Because if the test has been taken, then somebody can't even come to you and say that.
Right.
I'm dealing with that situation
Like,
right now.
right.
My baby's mom, my one baby's mom, she's my ex-wife. Like, I keep on trying to tell her, I want a DNA test. No, I don't want to give you one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm still sitting here paying child support for a child that I don't even know if it's mine.
See, and that's important, man. That's important. So you paying child support. Why are you paying child support? Brothers, this is the legalities in it all, brothers, and I'm giving you some real live stuff. The reason why he's paying child support and he hasn't had a DNA test because he has established paternity. How did he establish paternity? Because when the child was born, you signed the paperwork. Am I correct?
I was in prison, but since we were still married at the time at birth,
Oh, So you married. So you automatically the father, right? So if y'all are married, then you are automatically the father. So then that's the only way that paternity is already established is if you are married, right? And that's how you automatically have your rights in the state of Ohio. If you have child and you are wedlocked, right? If you have a child and y'all are married, you automatically have rights to your child. But if you have children and you don't have a marriage certificate, you're not married, you don't have no rights to your child as a father until you go to the courts and get those rights, brothers.
And what you mean like rights? Like
Brother, rights.
Anything.
Rights. That means that you don't have the right to go to the school and say, let me go ahead and check him out of school. You don't have the right to make decisions on your child, right? You don't have the right to do none of that stuff, brother.
The mother is the sole custodial parent.
The mother is the sole residential custodian.
I got a question.
And brothers, and this is how y'all can go ahead and
I went through it myself.
no doubt. And this is how, and brothers, and this is what I'm saying, because all of it is about knowledge, right? And they got the phone. The phone is a computer, right? So then that's why you look at 3109.042. That's the Ohio Revised Code, brother. And it will tell you that the mother and mother who is unwed, a mother is the sole legal residential custodian of a child.
So that's why a lot of people be going to jail for kidnapping with their own kid.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost went to
jail.
Yes.
If you're married,
Because you don't have no right to have the child.
if you're married, you can legally by law tell her she cannot leave the state with your child.
Absolutely. But
If she leaves the state with your child and you guys are married, she can get charged for kidnapping.
good stuff, Dave. Good stuff. Dave. Good stuff. Good stuff. Lace them up. Because you're coming from a marriage point of view, and that's good because most of us don't be married, right? Most of us.
I've been married.
This is important.
Right.
I've been married 8 years.
See, but most people in the community, what?
No.
When we have children, we just have children. No, out of wedlock, right? So I'm just letting you know, brother, because I know that you're not married.
This is an important question. If I'm in here, right?
Yes.
And if I'm not able to make it to the birth of my child, the mother of my child can still name my son after me, right?
Yeah, that don't matter. Like, your child can be named Timbuktu, Shaka Zulu. It doesn't matter. The name, she can name him whatever. She can name.
She named him after him. Child support coming.
Brother, look, again, low quality information. Brothers, listen. Hold up, brothers. Only way that child support can include you on an order is if paternity has been established. Child support cannot include you on an order because you even signed a birth certificate. It's more than signing a birth certificate. You got to sign the paternity affidavit. The paternity affidavit in the hospital, that's when you got to show your ID and you got to say, this is me. And that's what will make you legally responsible for that child. That's what will make you financially responsible for that child, brothers. But just because the child...
Ace and I ain't signed shit.
Brothers, like...
That's because she put me as the father.
No, brother, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's something going on there, brother.
Yeah, but she signed no birth certificate.
Brother, like...
I'm doing a paternity test after, but they coming to get it.
Did they take a paternity test?
Yeah.
There it goes.
But that was only because she gave my name and then child support came to holler at me about it.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is that a child support... Right. So what I'm saying is that child support cannot start the child support order until paternity is established. Yeah. So then the mother will give child support your name, but then child support has to either get you to sign a paternity affidavit saying that you are the child. I'm going to get you 1 second, brother. I'm giving this brother some good information because he really needs it. He's about to have a child, right? So so the only way is that you got to sign a paternity affidavit. When you do, then you are financially responsible for that child. Or they're going to send a DNA test to take the DNA test, swab your mouth, and then that's how they establish the paternity. It's only 2 ways for you to establish paternity. It's either through a DNA test or you signing a paternity affidavit. And when that happens, now you are financially responsible for that child. But a lot of times people think that, they got to get put on child support just because child support takes the DNA test. No, the mother has to say, I want him on child support. And the only way that the mother will be, forced to put you on child support is if she's getting cash assistance from welfare. I'm not talking about food stamps or health assistance, brothers. I'm talking about cash money. If she's getting cash money, they will say, and even then she's not being forced, they will say, if you want to continue to get this cash assistance, then we're going to have to get money from the father, and you got to put him on child support, right? So she can still say, I don't want the cash assistance. He's not going on child support, right?
Right? Say she don't know the father. Because I know some people that do it like that say they don't know the baby's
Yeah,
father.
but she's still gonna have to come up with some names
Right.
for them to be able to test. So she can send names out there like that for her to be able to test again. But this is just understanding, right? Because man, high quality information, it puts us in a position to be able to make the best decisions, right? And if we talking about our children, brother. Like, don't we want the best information to make the best decisions with our children? Like, brother, you can buy all of the clothes that you want to buy and say, man, I'm doing for my child. You can have the time when your child being born, brother.
He gonna be here next week.
Next week, right? So you know the exact date and everything. That child is in your head, right? Now you got to start to put the work in to be able to solidify your position in your child's life, brother. If you don't put in the work to solidify your position in your child's life, brother, you are leaving it up to feelings and emotions, and that stuff changes. That means that the way that the mother look at you can be all good right now. It can be different 10 days from now, right? She can feel you right now. She cannot feel you 10 days from now. You can be all with her and supportive of her right now. 10 days from now, you can find somebody that you like, and you like, man, I want to go try her. And then it's like, you can't see your son now. And she can do that. She can do that because you're not legally established with your child. Again, brother, 3109.042, Ohio Revised Code. I'm not going to leave y'all brothers naked, right? I'm going to give y'all brothers the information for you to look it up. That means you can Google that stuff and you'll be able to see, like, hold up, just like I told y'all about the 13th Amendment, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except like I'm going to give y'all the information, right, for y'all to be able to make the best decisions in life. That's it. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just telling you to think.
So how do I sign the birth certificate if I'm not there?
Yeah, no doubt. So now that puts you in a position to say, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and get the DNA test. You can get the DNA test. I'm just encouraging you to get the DNA test. But brother, again, you got to come to your own conclusion. That means that you process my information that I'm giving you and you come to your own conclusion. I say go get the DNA test to go ahead and establish yourself legally with your child. But you don't have to do that. You can go down to child support and you can say, man, you know what? Let me just get the paternity affidavit form. And you can go ahead and sign that and say, I take full financial responsibility for my child.
Yeah, because she can sit there and list you as unnamed right now as a father. And then once you get out of here, you can go to child support and tell them, like, I believe this lady and this child, I think I'm the father of that child.
And that's how I sign the birth certificate?
And I would like to do a DNA
Paternity
test.
affidavit.
So I can
how
be.
do I sign the birth certificate if I'm going to be...
What they're going to do is once they do the DNA, they're going to automatically place you on that birth certificate. They'll redo the birth certificate and everything to where you're automatically on it.
Yes.
And then when, like, say, at some other time you lose your child's birth certificate card or whatever, when you go to get that new birth, when you go get that birth certificate, it's not going to be blank no more. It's going to have your name.
Your name on there. I've went through that too as well. Right. So I've been through a couple of different situations, right? I've been through a couple of different situations. Deshaun, my 13-year-old, his mother was married. His mother was married when we got together. When I came home from prison, she was married, right? So when Deshaun was born, the husband was the father of my son. And his name was Deshaun Christian. My name. But his father was legally her husband. So the only way that I can become legally the father is through a DNA test. I couldn't even do the paternity affidavit. Now I had to go get a DNA test to disprove the husband from being the father. Because with marriage, you are automatically the father, brother.
I've been through that. That's exactly what he's saying.
Come out white.
Huh?
I don't care if it come out white.
It don't care, right? You the father. You be like, man, hold up, man. Like they be like, man, hey, that's you the father. Keep on feeding him until he look like you.
Junior.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, yeah.
I was just gonna tell him, in my situation, with my kid, you right though, cause I don't pay child support, never had. She's 16 years old, and I still don't have to pay.
Right.
I was there during the birth. I do have I did take a paternity test. She's born in June. I took the paternity test in October. And my name is still not on her birth certificate though. I never had to pay because she never enforced it. We stayed together. But
Yeah.
that last thing you said.
That's that too. If you the parent, because I didn't have to pay for ACE in the beginning when me and Dee was first together because we lived together. If you live in the same residence as a child, you don't have to pay child support.
This stuff crazy to the mug, man. Like, and I chuckle, man, and I'm sorry that I chuckle, man, because that stuff be low quality information, and this is how the stuff circulates.
That's real.
No, I'm dead serious. No. Listen, brothers. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not just like saying this
I
stuff.
just never paid until I got divorced.
No, but I'm trying to get you to understand why, and I'm trying to tell you. You know, like I'm telling you, like I on Tuesdays I just got done with this contract, but every Tuesday I was going down to child support. They contract me to be down in child support to work with fathers before they establish their paternity, right? So when I'm down there, and plus I got a connection with the director of child support too as well. So what I do is I get like the information from the people who are behind the systems, right? And when I get the information, I bring it back to the brothers. So now you not operating off of low quality information, right? You not just saying, man, what I think, right? Now it's like, this is what I know. Right, so when I'm saying this stuff, brothers, like it's coming from a good source. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what's what. Like I don't want y'all brothers to hear what I'm saying because you know I done been locked up for 10 years. No, because I hear people so often they try to use this to be able to connect with the brothers. Man, it's not about me being locked up for 10 years, brothers. It's not about me selling dope when I was 13 years old, getting hit at 19 years old. It's not about that, brothers. Like that stuff is common. That's normal, right? People do that. People bust their guns, brothers. This is what happens. I'm not talking about that, brother. The reason why I come in here is not to tell y'all about that. I'm telling y'all about the stuff that I know on the other side. Like how to get to the other side. I'm not coming in here and saying, man, you know what, man, you know who I was, man? I bust my guns and stuff like that so y'all can sit up there and be like, that brother real in the mud. No, I'm showing y'all, brother, man, this is how you go ahead and buy you a house. Brother, this is how you establish yourself in your children's lives. Brother, this is how you go ahead and establish your credit. Brother, this is how you be able to move with a level of power that no prison can contain, right? This is what I be about, brothers. And it's all based on information. So when I'm talking to child support, when I'm talking to ODRC, when I'm reading and I'm doing all of this research, brothers, I'm doing that to provide you with a level of information that's going to put you in a premier place. So what I'm saying is this. You can have a child support order and you'll be in the house with your child's mother. Like I see people so often they be like, man, hey, people is paying child support in the house that they are staying because the mom is saying, man, I just want to be for sure. Because they separate. You know, women be separate and they be like, man, I just want to make sure I take care of myself. And matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, man, quite fact, this is truth, right? When we went and got the paternity test on Deshaun, they established a child support order for me. And then the mom, which was my soon-to-be wife, she says, hey, You paying child support, it don't matter, it's cool. So then we had to literally go down there and say, hold up, we're going to make that a 0 child support order. So right now, brothers, I got 0 child support orders, but it doesn't mean that it's not an order set. It's just that I have a 0 child support order. That means that I don't have to pay. But the only reason why that is because the mom said that I don't want him to pay no money for child support because he's there taking care of the child.
So can she take you off of it if you ever wrong?
The mom can say she does not want the money, right? That's what I'm trying to say is like the mom can say, you know what, we got an agreement that we are going to take care of the child between the two of us. I don't need child support to monitor the money that's being shoveled to our children. The mom can do that. The only way, like I said, that the mom is going to be pressured to put you on child support is if she is getting cash assistance, and that is a decision. So she's going to say, you know what, hey, if you don't want me getting the checks every month, then go ahead and produce some money so I ain't got to get the checks.
That's when the state sits there and actually takes over on that.
The state takes over. Absolutely right. Because it's like, I ain't got to ask you no more, mom. Like, hey, you getting money from us, we gonna recoup that money from dad. So this is the way that, but y'all living together, y'all even being married, like all of that stuff, man, like that won't stop child support. What stops child support is the mom saying that, you know what, hey.
Until she goes down and says something. You could be living in the same house and be married and all that, and they will still
hit you with child support.
How do I get my name on my daughter's birth certificate?
Okay, good. So yeah, how do you get your name on your daughter's birth certificate? You take a paternity test. Yeah. Have you taken that yet?
Yeah, I took it 16 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, and when the last time you seen a birth certificate?
When I was in Grafton, 2012.
Yeah, so yeah, that's strange because
change or something like that.
So you gotta just inquire to the Ohio Health and Statistics or whatever the public documents, because what should happen is that after you take the DNA test, but it was 16 years ago. I don't know how they did it back then, but right now when you take that DNA test, man, that name gets generated into the it goes into that space on the birth certificate.
Yeah, because it's in the health department stuff. Because if you sit there and actually retake that test, like say if you go out there and retake it, you can tell the person while they're sitting there DNA swabbing, you can tell them, like if it comes back that it's mine, I would like my name placed on that birth certificate, and they're going to log all that. That way when it comes back that kid's yours, they already know. They got to sit there and do the paperwork with the health department and all that to sit there and log it in and have you placed onto that birth certificate.
Or if you on, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you was to call down there and you on file, that
yeah,
you've
I'm
already
on
established,
file.
well, they should be able to fix it then.
My child got took by her mother, and I was getting child support papers during my whole incarceration because my dad went down there and got her from Messenbaum. They know who her father is because it's on all my child support papers. I wrote.
If you got child support, then you are the father.
I mean, not child support papers, but children's services. They contact me and they kept me up to date because my baby mother had to go to parenting classes and everything to regain custody back.
Right.
And they say on the hearings, they say Christopher Primus is currently incarcerated. So he won't be able to attend. They say father, and then they say my name, and then they say, well, he won't be able to appear because he's incarcerated.
Right. So one thing that I'm hearing, brothers, and I hear it with you too, G. I hear that like a lot of attention is being paid to the birth certificate, and I'm gonna ask you, like, is that important? The birth certificate, your name being on the birth certificate? Yeah. Because I'm telling you, a birth certificate is a legal document. I'm just telling you, like anybody's name can be on the birth certificate. That means that you could go ahead and say, man, she could say put his name on the birth certificate, and she'll put your name on the birth certificate. So birth certificate is a legal document. Paternity affidavit is the thing that's going to give you the ability to be able to go into the courts. Like, so what's more important, being on the birth certificate or having legal access to your child?
Legal access.
Being able to make decisions on your child. Because like Dave was saying, is that, the position that you are in, 3109.042 Ohio Revised Code, the position that you are in, if the mother says that, you know what, I'm going to move to Chicago, O Block, ain't that where it's at out there? O Block. I'm going to move to O Block. I'm going to move to the O, right? And this dude out there in the O, man, at O Block, man, is going to take care of me and little G, man, and he going to be the father, right? It's nothing that you can do, brother, if you don't have anything established in the course. Just you buying clothes and you saying you the father is not going to prevent her from being able to pick that child up and move that child to Chicago and have somebody else be the father. Why? Because she is the sole legal custodian of that child, brother. Like, until you go to court. But see, when you go to court, because y'all had a child outside of wedlock, but until you go to court, when you go to court, then you'll establish a shared parenting plan. A shared parenting plan, what that does, it gives you 50% say on your child. That means that you have the ability to make decisions on your child. That means that she can't leave out of a certain radius, right, without going in front of the courts and saying, this is what we are going to do about the parenting time. Like, in the shared parenting plan, parenting time is in there, who's going to claim the child for income tax purposes, where the child is going to go, what house is the child going to go to school from, residential custodian, right? All of that stuff is spelled out in the shared parenting plan. Who's going to take care of the health benefits with the child? Like, you have access to the school records. That means that you can go up to the school, the daycare, and say, man, you know what? I want to know what's going on with my child. But if you don't have that stuff in the shared parenting plan, brother, and you're not established legally, you just leaning on, I hope that the mom hooks me up and allows me to go to the school. So I got to make sure that we always is cool so I can go ahead and be able to go to the school.
Basically, pretty much you're saying you're going to be walking on
eggshells. Yes, brother. Yeah. That stuff is uncomfortable. I'm just telling you, brother. Like, I'm not telling you something that I don't know. Like, this stuff is uncomfortable, brother. Like, you don't know when you're going to be shot. Like, you don't know when you're going to be shot. You just know you're going to be shot, right? Like, because anytime that you got two people, man, a conflict can happen, man. A disagreement can occur. But it's just about being treated in the right way. This is the only thing that the shared parenting plan does. It just says it's a contract on your children. It's saying that, man, you know what? Whatever happens between us, we going to make sure that we do right by this child. Right? And the best way to do it is when y'all both are in a good place. Because when y'all are both in a good place, then guess what? The stuff that y'all come up with and agree to is going to be in the best interest of that child. But when y'all in a bad place and she's feeling a certain type of way about you, you feeling a certain type of way about her, she's going to say, man, I'm trying to get back at you. Her decision making can be a bit cloudy. Right? Because she's operating off of anger at that time. So when she says, no, you can't see Lil G, or no, I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else be Lil G's father, that's out of anger. It's not the best thing for Lil G. So that's why it's so important. And I'm telling you, like, I can say this stuff all day long, but it's going to be up to y'all brothers to apply the stuff that I'm saying, right? Like, if you don't apply it, brother, it doesn't really matter, right? And you'll find yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. So then that's why it's important, again, to say, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and establish myself with my children with a shared parenting plan. And people wonder, I got shared parenting plans with all three of my children. I got 3 children, 3 children's mothers. I got a shared parenting plan with all 3 of my children. I tell my children I got paperwork on all you jokers, right? That means that parenting time is spelled out. All of that stuff. Child support is spelled out. No child support. Claiming for income tax purposes is spelled out in the shared parenting plan, brothers. That means that when feelings change, something is going to remain the same, which is that shared parenting plan, right? That's a contract. And we don't break contracts without, you know, a consequence. It's a difference, brothers, and it puts you in a different place, and it puts you in a space to be able to literally establish this relationship with your children that you desire. Because now you ain't sitting up here saying, man, I gotta walk on eggshells and I gotta, you know, do this. Now you can literally, man, establish that relationship with the children that you need to establish, or you don't have to be in a space to be where you like, man, dang, man, I can't see my children for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like when you miss out on your children for 6 months, for a year, because of you and mom going back and forth, right? That hurts the relationship between you and your children, because that time apart, your children cannot depend on you to be there. They're not caring about why you're not there. Only thing that they know is that you're not there, brother. Reasons and results. And guess what don't matter in life, brothers? Reasons.
Why, like with my buddy, I was talking to him yesterday because he's getting ready to have his first child.
Man,
he's still a little bit of a kid in his mind.
Absolutely.
And I told him, I'm like, you might want to start changing your life now by the time that kid comes. I'm like, because I'm telling you right now, as soon as that child comes, your life's going to change, and it's going to change in a way that you're not used to.
Right.
And I'm
right.
like, so you're going to have to step up quite a lot. And I'm like. And I told him, I'm like, you seen the things that I went through in prison, because when I was in there, I lost my kids to children's services.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, that's a lot to sit there and have to deal with, because for 2 years I sat there and fought with the courts, because I was also fighting on my case to sit there to get out, because I was supposed to end up in a halfway house in the first place. But I sat there and fought, and I lost. And right now, that's why, like, I've been sitting here talking to my family and all that. That's why I'm waiting to get out and get established and all that. That way I can actually sit there and be able to go to children's services, ask them, hey, what do you want me to do?
No doubt.
So I can give my children.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Because, like I said, and that's what I was telling him, when it comes to being a father, there's going to be a lot of things you don't even know of and you're not used to. So that's why, like, when we was all growing up, when our parents sat there and told us, don't have that kid unless you're ready to be a man, because there's a lot more than you think it is. It's a lot more than just sex.
Ain't no doubt. And ain't that's what we've been discussing this whole time, right? What have we been discussing, brothers? That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand, like the seriousness of this responsibility that you are about to embark on, young G. Like, this is a responsibility that's not no game. Like, this is serious. Because you are responsible for the development of an actual individual, and you can't come up with the reasons on why you ain't being who you need to be. Like, it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is the results that you are who you needed to be for that child. If you're not who you needed to be for that child, it will show in the child's development. You'll see them struggling with some things that they wouldn't have been struggling with if you would be who you need to be, right? Like, it's crazy. So that's why it's so important, brothers. But that's why we got to make sure that we lock ourselves in. That's the first thing that I tell every father. Brother, make sure you get solidified legally with your child. You had a child out here outside of wedlock, brother, go ahead and get established legally, period. If not, then we playing. We playing, brothers. Like, literally. Because now the relationship, it's a possibility that it can go off track between you and your child because you're not even established. For real. Like, your foundation is shaky. What is your foundation built on, brother? Sand? Then when the wind comes and the storm comes, brother, your house is going to crumble because your foundation has been built on sand. It ain't been built on a rock, brother, and you can tell it. You can see it. You can see the destruction of your house. Like, look at your house, brother. It's all crumbled. Man, it looked pretty, but it's all crumbled now because it couldn't withstand the storm. You see what I'm saying? So, brother, man, building your foundation on that rock is saying, first, let me go ahead and get that stuff established legally with my child. Establish your paternity, then go into the courts and say, man, hey, child's mother, let's go to the court and go ahead and get a shared parenting plan. Only thing that this does, it's just a legal document making sure that we are doing right by our child. You talk with her with that type of conversation, right? And that's how you'll be able to get that stuff done. But, again, how can we be influential in the relationship between us and mom? Because it's necessary, right? Yeah. Don't we want to be influential in that relationship between you and mom? Don't you want to have influence with the mother in regard to your child? Yeah. Why is that necessary? Why is it necessary that you have influence as a father with the mother of your child when it comes to your child? Why do you think that is necessary?
She got influence on the child.
And you trying to get a job done, right? So if you sit up there saying that I want to go ahead and establish these goals with my child, and I want to make sure that they have confidence, I want to make sure that they're good decision makers, I want to make sure that they self-regulated, I want to make sure that they are individuals that bring value back to the table, I want to make sure that they are individuals that do their best. If you are saying that these are the goals that you have for your children, and y'all are in two separate houses, or even if y'all are in the same house, right? Don't you want that child to look at the mom, and the mom is supporting those goals just like you are supporting those goals? So then that means that the mom is focused on the goals, you are focused on the goals. What are the chances of the child accomplishing these goals? What is the chances of your child having these character traits instilled in them because everybody is focused on them? That means that if I'm telling the goals to my children and I say, these are the goals that I have for you, child, and you telling the mother, these are the goals that we have, and you and the mother agree, these are the goals that we have for our children, and then guess what? Everybody is focused on these goals. So that's why it's important that we have that relationship with the mother. But how do we get influence? Through a positive relationship, right? So that's why we want to continue to strengthen the relationship between mom and ourselves. Or if you're in a situation where it's a grandparent or whoever, if it's another caretaker, you want to strengthen the relationship between you and that caretaker of your children, because it's going to have to be a partnership.
That's why, like with me, that's when I had to take like my personal feelings out of it.
Absolutely.
Out of it, because that's one thing I told my buddy too, is I'm like, when you have that child, like that's when you have to start taking personal feelings out of things and start actually applying it to how it will benefit the child. Leave your personal feelings behind it.
Oh my God.
And think of how that child's going to benefit. Because if you can take your personal feelings out and she can take her personal feelings out, then what that's going to do is it's going to sit there, create something where you guys can sit there and create a positive atmosphere and decisions and stuff like that for that child. That way that child's going to be able to sit there and grow up in a better environment than
right.
what you sat there and grew.
No doubt. So then this is how, and ultimately you are able to get the job done, right? You're able to get the job done. Because if you sit up there, even if you think about it, if something happens to the mother, then how is it going to impact your child in a negative way, right? It will, right? Because the child loves the mother, right? The child come up out of the mother. So I always challenge fathers all the time and saying, man, oh, you saying, man, forget the mom? The mom don't matter? Okay. Well, if something happens to the mom, how's it going to impact the child in a negative way? See, these is personal feelings that gets us to say, man, forget the mom, man. I don't care. She can jump off the cliff. But if that mom jumps off the cliff, how is it going to impact the dang on child? If we are thinking about the child's development and the progression of the child, then we would understand that the mother is important to the development and progression of the child. Because if something happens to the mother, it's going to impact the child negatively. But what gets us to sit up here and say, forget the mom, is we are focused on what she did to us or what she is doing. We don't focus on who she is. Because if we focus on who she is, then we would understand that at the end of the day, who she is a person who actually birthed our child, that child that we love. And matter of fact, our child would not be here if she didn't make the agreement to say that, man, I'm going to allow my body to distort itself and birth this child. Because women can go ahead and have an abortion without telling the father anything. Brother, that dang on skull cap look like a condom. But it's just like, I just had to say that. I had to put that in the way the tip is up like that. Like, that boy look like a condom, man. I can't help it. I had to hit you with that one, man. That puppy look like a cold condom, man. That brother talking about protecting sex for real, man. Actually, yeah. But again, I'll be silly with that, man. That stuff silly though, man. It did look like that. I couldn't.
Kept on looking every day.
I kept on looking at it. I'm like, man, that puppy look like that puppy look like a condom, man. The way that the top was like, the little top was just up like that. It looked like a damn condom, man. but brothers, but that's important to understand, man. Like the mother, what she goes through. You know, every mother don't survive childbirth. This is another thing. Every mother don't survive childbirth. The mother is taking a chance with her life when she births a child. You know, you do know that, right? Like mothers die on that table, birthing the child, and the child will survive, but the mom will die. So again, when we saying, man, hey, she can jump over the cliff, guess what? She made some decisions for you to be able to have that child here. So again, we be caught up in the feelings when we be saying that, but we don't really be going off of what the truth is. And the truth of the matter is that this woman is important.
I wanted to ask
that's who she is.
That you said. I always ask my daughter how's her mother health conditions, and I always let her know that she wasn't a oops or a mistake baby. I
no doubt
invested time with your mother before you was born. And then last night, man, I cried with my daughter on the phone because I wanted her to know how remorseful I felt being away from her for so long.
Wow.
I let my daughter see my weakness, and I asked her for forgiveness because her whole life is not the way I wanted it or she expected it. You know, my family been letting her make her own choices,
right?
Which I strongly disagree with, because like if we got hot dogs and she don't want no hot dogs, she want hamburgers, they will go out and get her a cow, and I'm like, no, she take the cow back.
Right.
You giving her choices that she shouldn't have been making, but now she's stubborn, and she got that attitude at my way or the highway. You don't even have a highway.
Right.
And it's just something that we got to work on. But I felt so bad, and I was out there on the rec yard crying last night.
Wow.
You inspired me to. In 2018, I came to you after the program was over, and I asked you, how can I reach my kid? I've been gone for so long, and I'm afraid I will never be a chance to be a father. And I didn't understand it until yesterday. I finally reached her.
Wow.
I want to say thank you, man.
No doubt, absolutely, bro. No doubt, man. That's heavy duty, and it's still work to be done. Like now, you reached her. Now let's continue on this journey, right? But that's important that you just said. You said you asked about the well-being of her mother, right? Mm. Because when you think about that too, brothers, like now we just getting into a place in our heads so we can understand the importance of this mother that we talking about, that we got to co-parent with. Because this will help you to be able to co-parent with the mother when you start to value her in a better way, right? But when you devalue the mother, then of course you're going to be critical of her. Of course that relationship is going to be poor because you have no value for her. But once you start to understand the value of the mother, it helps you to be able to establish the relationship with her that is necessary to be able to parent your child. So you got to also think, this is also paying dues into strengthening the relationship with your child when you show the mom that type of respect. Why? Because I'm going to tell you, from what I've known, I got 3 children, 3 children's mothers. Each one of my children's mothers, the way that my children look at me and the way that I respond to their mothers, they look at me with a pleased type of feeling, right? They man, you know what? Take care of moms, man. Like you cool with my moms, right? So then they appreciate that because their moms mean something to them. And when I show them that their mom means something to me, it strengthens the relationship with them. You see what I'm saying? Because I care about what they care about. So if I'm trying to build a positive relationship with my children and I'm sitting up there saying, man, hey, what you care about most, I don't care about. And I'm going to let you know it when I cuss her out. And when I tell you that, man, I hope she dies off the cliff somewhere, because I'm caught up in my feelings, right? And I'm just talking bad about the mother. The child is going to process that information in a way to say, man, how you don't care about what I care about. which is my mom. Like, I wouldn't even be here without my mom.
That's why I always took it serious when mom always said, I brought your ass in this world.
Right. But I do this class with parents too, because I tell the mothers too, you got to value the father. Why? Because that child wouldn't be here without that father's seed, right? It takes two. Only what animal can just produce on itself, right?
A kangaroo.
For real?
Marsupial.
I know some kind of fish too. They can just produce. They just can become pregnant, right?
The males carry
a seahorse.
The males carry the kid. The seahorse.
Yeah.
The male seahorse.
Oh wow, yeah, wow, yeah. That's heavy duty. But yeah, but it takes two, right? It takes two with human beings. It takes two. So then that means that the mother is valuable, the father is valuable. Nobody is more valuable than the other. We are both equally valuable to the development of this child. And like you said earlier, you say that you tell your daughter she's not an oops baby. I'm from the mindset that nobody is an oops. Nobody is a mistake. That means that you are supposed to be here. Why are you supposed to be here, brother? You survived one out of like 30 million sperm, right? Like, you are supposed to be here, brother. Do you know what all had to fall in place for you to be conceived? Brother, for child to be conceived, it gotta have a lot of things has to fall in place, right? So a lot of times people be like, man, I don't know how that got, man, it was a mistake. Ain't no mistake, because I see people who be trying to have children and they don't, right? They trying all they putting everything into it. They go into the science to try to get the science to help them have children, and it's still not working, right? Because everything has to come in alignment for a child to be conceived. So when a child is conceived, that means that you are supposed to be the father. That means that she is supposed to be the mother. It doesn't matter what she's doing or how she's acting. What matters is who she is. And who she is, she has been assigned to that child. You have been assigned to that child. And when you come at it from that type of perspective, now you start to handle that relationship differently. Because you say, man, hold up. Out of all of the women in the world, my daughter was assigned to this woman. This woman was assigned to my son, my daughter. Out of all of the women in the world, right? 7.6 billion people on the face of this earth. Out of the 7.6 billion people on the face of this earth, this woman was assigned to my son, to my daughter. How can I not treat the relationship with care?
I know my son here for a purpose because I didn't. No lie, like I ain't used to wear condoms, and I used to have sex with a lot of females, and I used to think I can't have kids. I'm like, yeah, I can't have kids.
Right.
Then when she got pregnant, I'm like, what the hell going on? This shit for a purpose, like, it's to make me a better human, and that's what I realized. Like, my son is gonna humble me and make me a better version of me. Like, that's all I want my son to be a better version of me.
I love that stuff, brother. Like, you be hitting on some stuff absolutely right. Because just like we got something to give to our children to help them to evolve, they got something to give to us to help us to evolve. That means that who we got to become to parent them is going to help with our evolution. It's going to help us to become better. And the better that we become, the better our experience is going to be on the face of this earth. The people who struggle in life, brothers, is the people who elude their responsibilities with their children because they are missing something that their children has to give them. Right? That means that they're not becoming, like, my life is the way that it is, man, because, man, I'm heavily involved in my children's lives, man. Like, I got strong relationships with my children, man, so my life reflects that, man. I got a certain level of peace because of that. I'm becoming better and better every day. The more that I invest my time into my children, the better person that I become. It's a beautiful thing. This is a win-win situation. It's not a they win, I lose situation. This is a I win, my children win. Like, we all winning up in this puppy. That's what's beautiful. Like, your children has so much to offer you. And then you got to think about this too, brother. Like back to what we was talking about. What you got to do to have a positive relationship with the mother especially if it didn't went off the tracks, that's challenging all in itself. And it will equip you to be able to deal with other things that's going to be challenging as well. See, once you get through one thing, brother, you can get through two things. Once you get through two things, you can get through four things. It's funny how life works, because now you start to establish that confidence that you can go through it. So then when you come against something that's challenging, you're not looking at it the same way. You're like, man, I done been through hell. I can get through that. It just gives you a certain level of confidence. It lets you know what you can do. But that's why it's important that we have that relationship with the mother of our children. But how do we get it done, right? So we want to talk about how do we get it done. We understand the importance of it, right? What we can get from that, how we can, parent our children in the best possible way, because the child isn't going to be confused, or the child isn't conflicted, because the child can be conflicted when the child sees you, man, having this anger towards the mother, or the mother having an anger towards the father, and the child is wondering, whose side should I take, right? That can be conflicting with the child, because the child is like, if I do this, will I be selling out mom? If I do that, will I be selling out dad? So then they don't even know what to do, right? So then this is an issue with the child's development. It can hurt the child's development. So we want to make sure that we are careful with that. Right? But this is all a part of it, right? So that's why we want to make sure that the relationship is positive. So how do we do that? How do you think that we do that? How do we establish a strong, positive relationship with the mother of our children?
Communicate and be respectful.
Good. So if we're talking about communication, the same thing that we needed to do with our children. Remember, what is the main part in the communication process? Listening. So then that means you want to listen. Oh my gosh, man, this is in real time. Just the other day, man, my daughter's mother, she said, man, she was mad about, man, our daughter. She's like, man, you know what, man, this stuff crazy, man, and I gave her a listening ear. I let her express, man, what was going on, because she was like, man, I don't want this. And I'm like, I understand. And we had a real conversation. She realized that she had been heard, and that's what strengthens the relationship, because she's like, man, and then I was able to give her some pointers, because I tell her, I say, man, I teach this stuff. I teach this stuff, and this stuff still be challenging for me, right? This parenting piece, this stuff is challenging like a mug. I'm always questioning myself, right? With my parenting, I'm dead serious. I don't want y'all to think that I'll be going on like, I'm the parent of the father of the year. I don't go home like that, brothers. I'll still be like questioning myself and still saying, man, dang, just questioning, making sure that I'm doing right by my children. It's crazy, man. So I tell her that I still struggle, even with me teaching this information like I do. So I can only imagine if you not like going over this type of information consistently like I am, right? So I know that when you see your daughter say, you know what, hey, what you think you doing? Like, because that's what she had a problem with. She said that she was talking to her cousin on the phone, and she says, yeah, what you think you doing? You think you think you sneaking? You think you sneaking? And dad gonna find out, like dad gonna find out you talking to some dude, so that's how she trying to come, and she's like, man, hold up. First of all, man, stay in a child's place. So she took offense to it. Like, who you think you checking? Like, you can't sit up here and say, you don't know what the heck is going on between me and your father, right? That's none of your business, right? Like, so that's how she was coming at it, right? So she was upset that our daughter was trying to basically protect me.
That's crazy.
Like, you ain't about to, what you think you about to be going out there messing with somebody else? You better, I'm going to tell dad, I'm going to let the cat out the bag. And she like, hold up, I ain't got to sneak around and do nothing, right? Like, so she caught offense to it, but we had to have a conversation about that. But I told her, I said, man, I understand where you coming from. So she sees that I was listening to what she was saying. I didn't dismiss her feelings. And that's what happens a lot of times, is that we might dismiss the mother's concern, our co-parent's concern. And if we dismiss their concerns, now what do you think? How do you think that they are going to look at that relationship that we have with them?
Well, he don't care about how I feel.
It's going, right. Right. So now there's going to be that type of resentment because they feel like that they're not being listened to. It's going to be barriers. So then that means that when you say that, hey, let's go ahead and do this, they're going to be like, I'm going to do the opposite because I don't like you. That's how you get that struggle. Because people are feeling a certain type of way. It's a negative relationship. It's barriers between you and the mother of the child, brothers. But the reason why it's barriers is because you didn't do the things to establish that strong relationship. And it starts with what? Listening. Nothing says that you are there for a person more than just to listen. So then that's why it's so necessary that we listen, right? What else do? We look at the positive. What's positive about the mother of your children? And when you figure out what the positive is about the mother of your children, what does she do that's positive? Then you encourage that behavior, right? You say, man, I see that you do this, you cook well, and you take care of our children really well. I appreciate that, right? When she sees that you see the good in her, she's going to see good in you, and she's going to see the good in the relationship, and she's not going to want to weaken that relationship. She's going to continue to pour in and invest into the relationship as well because she sees that you see the good in her, right? Not blowing smoke up her butt, but really looking at her and saying, I see this in you. I see that in you. Encourage that behavior so she can see that you see some positive in her so you can have the positive relationship. What's next? We must forgive. This is big. The reason why the relationships be like that with the mother of our children, because of our neglect to forgive. Because we don't want to forgive. We are holding grudges. We are holding grudges.
You don't get no blessings if your hands closed by holding grudges.
No doubt. You holding grudges. You thinking about what she's done and things like that. So you got to forgive, just like you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You forgive her, and then you can go ahead and move on. You can continue to move that relationship forward, right? So it's important that we do that. But we do these things, brothers, that relationship is going to be powerful, and you'll be able to be influential in your children's lives because of the relationship between you and the co-parent. And y'all can get the job done. Just imagine if the president and the vice president is fighting at the top. What's going to happen with that company?
You'll split up.
Right, because it's dysfunction at the top. If it's dysfunction at the top, brothers, it's going to be dysfunctional at the bottom. It has no choice. The company will crumble. It's just a matter of time. So when we are sitting up there going back and forth with the mother of our children and we are not establishing that strong positive relationship with the mother of our children, we can really say to ourselves, man, you know what? It's going to impact our children in a negative way. Like, that's how important it is.
The main reason why I wanted to show my kid my love for her mom is to set a standard from what she need to expect from her baby dad whenever she have a kid. And like my dad treated my mother like this,
right.
So I want to be treated the same way for my kid's father.
Right, absolutely. All of that stuff is beneficial, man. But you don't win when you sit up there and drag the mother of your child through the mud. I be in a space for real. I be like, man, hey, anything that I can do to help the mother of my children, I'm going to do it, brothers. I'm talking about what I can do to help. I'm not talking about I'm going all out, like I'm paying all of their rent or their mortgage and I ain't paying mine. I'm not saying that, right? I'm talking about what I have the ability to help them with, I do it. I look at them as, my family. Because what are they? They my family, right? So if it's my family, how am I going to treat them? That means that if they got, credit issues and I got information on how to establish credit, I'm going to give them that knowledge. That means that if they getting with some dude, right, and I see what the dude is about, I'm going to give them that information like, man, that dude, he trying to spin you. I'm telling you, I know the type. I'm going to give them an honest opinion of that dude that they dealing with. I'm not going to make their decisions. I'm not going to say, man, you need to get rid of him. I'm just going to give them that information. I'm going to let them know, like, man, you know what? Hey, I know that type, man. I've been around that type of dude before. You're going to end up in a bad place like that. Or it can be a good dude. I'm going to be like, man, hey, that's a solid brother, man. You need to continue to strengthen the relationship. Go ahead and repair that. Don't let that stuff go down like that, right? I'm going to go ahead and give them that information, right? Because I genuinely care about them. And they will be able to feel that. It's not made up, but you got to get it up here that you care about the mother of your children for you to be able to do something in that magnitude. If you don't get it up here that you care about them in that way, then guess what? You'll let them fall through the cracks because you don't really care about them. But if you care about the mother of your children, it shouldn't change because y'all are not together. So often I see it change because we ain't together. Like, you know, so then I got to ask, do you really care? Have you ever really cared about her? Or do you just care about her when y'all together, right? Nah, I give my children's mothers, I tell them, I say, man, you know what? I give y'all stuff that y'all gonna be able to build off of. If y'all with me or without me, it's gonna be good for you. That means the information that I give you is not information that only works because you with me. You know how people will do that? They will get you to become the person that will benefit them in that situation. But outside of that situation, this information isn't beneficial. I tell them, like, man, this is you stuff. What I'm giving you is you stuff. I'm not manipulating you to give you stuff that's going to work for me. Like, I'm giving you stuff that's going to work for you. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and withhold information so I can go ahead and keep you, you know, in an oppressed state, so I can continue to oppress you. You know, people, man, I'm telling you, man, dudes be crazy, man. Like, people be crazy. Just literally, they be in their heads saying, why people don't give people information? The reason why people don't give people information is because of fear, right? So people don't give the mother of their children the information because of fear. They say, man, if I give you the information, then you won't need me no more. And if you don't need me no more, then
it's like manipulation. Like
absolutely. It's coming from a terrible place.
149, 159, 160.
Right? Like, so they feel that type of love, brothers, is what I'm saying. Just real stuff. At the end of the day, it's real stuff. When I come in here and give brothers information, I'm not sitting up here in fear about what y'all gonna do with the information. Brother, you can go home, write a book. Brother, you can go home, start up a nonprofit organization. Brother, you can go home and do all of the stuff that you see me do in a better way, brother. Like, I'm fine with that. That doesn't threaten me, right? So I give you the information for you to become successful. I give it to you for you to have it. I don't give it to you so I can get, right? I don't give it to you out of fear. I give you this stuff, brothers, out of love. That's the only reason why I'm giving it to you, right? All right, brothers, y'all gotta fill out this dang on exit form. Y'all got pens?
Hell no.
It ain't numbered a couple pages though. It ain't the same as the.
Oh man.
But yeah, brothers, man. But that stuff is heavy duty, man. That stuff is heavy duty.
Anybody have a pen?
Oh,
I lost. You got some out there?
Yeah, I was about to go.
okay, yeah. Grab one. Grab about 5 of them.
What is?
Right there, some about the that's just asked, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, brothers. But you see how important that stuff is, though, man. Like, I'm telling y'all, man, it's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into this parenting piece, and I think that a lot of times people, they don't know what the responsibility is, and that's why it isn't being, handled the way that it should be.
It should be.
Because people don't understand it. They don't understand what their responsibility is.
To be honest with you, I learned a lot of them lessons that you're teaching the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I say, baby mom, like when I got with my wife, and it's like the happier I got, the worse my baby mom got, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we was together for years, had them kids and stuff for years, but I still didn't know that I didn't have no rights for real. That's why it was weird. I was paying child support, and I still didn't have no rights.
He only gave me 2.
I got one. I got some.
What's today?
The 16th? 15th?
16.
16. You said 16?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the happier I got, the
What's
worse
the
my
day?
You say the
baby
happier
mom
you got,
What's
the worse it
The worse
became.
my baby, yeah, the worse it became, bro.
And
She
why
had
do
a
you-
dude and everything, and
Right.
I ain't even the one to put nobody down or try to take. I did everything she required me to do and everything,
Right,
bro. It's
right.
just the fact that I wasn't with her and I ain't accomplished anything with her. She hates
Ace.
it.
What's the agency?
Starts within organization.
Starts with thing.
Yeah, that stuff ain't no joke. But it's something that you got to build on because sometimes they be in a space and you just got to stay consistent, right?
Yeah.
To be able to build it and continue to build it to get it into the place that you need it to be.
Yeah.
But with that consistency, it will get there. You just got to be consistent and not give up, you know?
Oh, it's there now.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? And how did it get there? Consistency, right? But the moment that you would have took another route and just been like, man, well, forget you then too, you know, and went at her the way that she come at you.
Today.
The 16th. And go at her the way she come at you, brother, the relationship would be still bad.
Yeah, 2 rounds don't make it right.
No doubt, man. Sheriff said, man, Ace Wood with the fist pump on She was there when you was cause I think I was gonna have her pick you up from 161 in Columbus one year, man. When you was down in Columbus, man, working or something, man. I don't know what happened. It seemed like something happened, man. The car ran out of something. Something happened.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I got pulled over.
You got pulled over.
Yeah, DUI.
Yeah, sure enough. Sure enough.
I was coming from what's the name, Rosie.
Sure enough, man. And you was like, I'm okay, officer. Officer, I'm okay, officer. And
You let the game or something like that.
right. Sure enough, man.
Are you accessible, Carlos?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Can I get my phone in the back?
Yeah. I ain't got no. Oh, dang, man, I forgot the dang on books. Let me get y'all's books too.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me get y'all's books, man.
Hey, what? So for this one, it say support. Please check that applies. It say child support order established. What they mean by that? Like child.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just let me see. Your program, have you achieved any so no. Does not apply.
Okay.
Yeah. Get this thing on. We go get y'all's books, man. Like, dang, y'all was gonna let me get out of here with y'all's books, volume 2, all that information. Gee.
Bless you.
This was a fatherhood class, wasn't it?
You gotta let him in. He's locked up. If that was a scary movie, he would have been dead.
right, man.
saw the new Scream movie?
For
It came out
real?
on Friday.
Scream?
Yeah. They got all the original people and their kids in there and shit.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I gotta watch that shit. I got them tatted on me. That's my boy.
Did it come out? You know if it came out on HBO Max or anything or that, or is this?
That I don't.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I just sat there and watched that Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
He said when the girl was screaming, he said either you shut her up, or I'm gonna shut that bitch up for you. I'm like, hell no.
Or when dude's in that Mustang, she
Oh, yeah.
starts that shrieking stuff. He's like, "Stop! He does not like it." Still got that movie too. I thought it would have done expired by now, but I think when they gave me the redeemable code, they basically bought the movie.
I got a website you can watch any new movie you want on your phone.
0123 movies.
No, not that.
What is it?
It's called 2K Movies.
2K movies.
They got all the new shit, all that.
What it's called?
2K movies. Is that the name of the app?
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I'll have something because that's all this place leaves you to do is hardly anything. 2K mobile.
Movies.
Must be an Apple thing. I'm gonna find that one here.
Jeez, book. Put this on in here. Just for you, brother. I'm gonna put this in here.
Just to make sure.
Ohio revised code 3109.042, brother. Just in case you might forget it, brother. It's gonna be in this
You
book.
might need this.
Right.
I'm gonna need that.
When you go look it up, brother, you look it up and you just all you gotta do is Google ORC 3109.042. It's gonna pull up, brother. But not only that, but it's gonna be in the book too, so I think I got it in this book somewhere. Yeah, I got it in this book.
Yeah, that's one thing, like where you was asking earlier, that's one thing to invest in is that Toastmasters.
Oh yeah, yep, and that helps with that helps with the speaking and
They
everything.
do it with stages and everything. They take it out to where you sit there and it teaches you where you can break at part where you sit there and say
Right, yeah,
Takes
yeah,
all
oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So it gives you, but the one thing is like just having a desire for somebody to have what's inside of you. You know, that's where it's gonna start at, and then you can build off of that. You can learn the technical stuff to it, you know. But that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Just having that
that's what
desire.
most people like the presidents and
We gotta get those to our case manager.
No, this is just yours, brother. I don't know how it works, but
you probably
It's
get a
yours.
copy made of it to give to them.
Okay. All right, this is how we gonna do it, right? All right. Let's give this brother a round of applause, man. Dave Lyons. Congratulations, brother, man. You have completed the Father Within class, man. Do you feel like you are a better father than you were before you started this class?
I'm getting better knowledge, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Better knowledge equals being better. Like, whatever we do in life, brothers, make sure that we become better.
Sure.
Right, whatever, every day. So you should be better tomorrow than you were today, right? Like, so you're gonna be a better father tomorrow than you were today, right? Like, and if we not, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
You see what I'm just saying? It's a problem.
It's insanity.
It's a problem. If we not becoming better, it's a problem. So guess what? This is the best father that you have ever been today. But you got to make sure that that's an accurate statement, because you put in the work for this to be the best father that you have ever been. And guess what? Tomorrow you're going to be like, hold up, man, today is the best father that I've ever been, right? That's what it is. So good stuff, brothers. That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations, man. There goes your certificate. Here goes your book, The Walking Logo, Taking Back My Life, Volume 2. A lot of information in there. Establishing your credit, Ohio Revised Code 3109.042 is in there spelled out word for word too, man. I just make sure. Chris. Oh, hold on. Let me get your certificate. Christopher Premise.
Yeah.
Hold up, Dave. You ain't need no clapping, man. All right, man. Congratulations, man. Do you feel like you are a better father than you were before you started this class?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, I did, man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Giovanni McCants. Oh, G. Get that weak stuff out of here, young man. That's Austin Carl.
I ain't a father yet. But I most definitely learned some knowledge for sure.
No doubt. Do you feel, man, better equipped, man, to go at this fatherhood piece?
Sure, I'm ready for it.
That's good stuff, man.
Ready.
You feel more ready than you were before you started this class?
I've always been ready, but I feel like this just more enlightened me on a lot of certain things that
Absolutely.
I didn't know about because I was unsure.
No doubt.
Like I was just unsure about because I wanted to name my son after me, and I was unsure if I wasn't gonna be able to make it. Could that still be possible? Because I didn't know.
Right, no doubt.
Sure.
So it's just good to have that knowledge now, ain't it, man?
Sure.
Knowledge is important, fellas, man. Good stuff, man. Corinne Moss. Hold on here. Yeah. Good stuff, brother. Do you feel like that you are a better father now than before you took this class?
I feel like I got a better outlook on the big picture.
Right, absolutely. That's what it is. Just a little bit more clarity, right? Yeah. Every day with life, we just get a little bit more clarity, right? To be able to enable us to walk with more precision. Yeah. Good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. That's what it's all about, man.
AC though.
John Ace. That would yeah. Man, congratulations, Ace Wood, man. Do you feel as if you are a better father today than before you took this class?
Of course, I feel like I'm a better father every day I get up. But,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
There's definitely some wisdom, words to live by.
No doubt, no doubt. And it's some good information for you to be able to continue to process. Yeah. This don't stop, brothers. Just because the class is in it don't mean that, this learning don't stop. We got to continue to refine what we know, man. This is what it is, man. To continue to get better. Only way you're going to get better is if you put in the work to get better. You don't get better by relaxing, right? So we got to stay at it. When you get into a conversation is for you to get better. So just always be thinking about getting better, man. So good stuff, man. Your children is going to be blessed because of y'all making y'all's decision.
How does class get shorter, though?
Right.
More people.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Couple people went home.
Yeah, people went home, and like Dave said, some people jumped the fence, they said, some people jumped that fence, man. I ain't in this halfway house no more, man. Forget this stuff, man.
Like, I'm cool.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming too, man. Man, responding to me at your bed area. Gee, I done been at your bed area a couple times, man. Like, bro, G.
I be dead. Hey, my bunkie be like, he be on your ass.
Right, man. Hey, your boy can be like, man, this brother here, like, he chuckle every time.
Man, he's serious, man. He get in that class, he told me, be on your head. I like, man, I'll be tired, man. I'll be asleep. And I did have an alarm set. I slept through that motherfucker. I'll be tired. Take care, my good brother.
All right, G, I'll see you, man.
All right, man.
Another job done, another class done. Carter said, "Pop."